Hello friends, and welcome to Gardening with Creekside. Today I am giving you a project progress report. Yes, my friends, I am giving you updates on a bunch of the different projects that we have done here, mostly at the house over the last couple of weeks and even months, because you have joined us on all of these projects. So I thought it would be fun to show you how they are progressing and how they are thriving, because I think it's always fun to see what's happening in each other's gardens. And like I said, you were with me when we started these projects, so I'm going to give you an update on all of them. If you missed any of those videos, of course, you can go back and you can look at those in full length and get all of the great details. Of course, the biggest project that we have recently undertaken was the entire renovation of our side garden and our front porch. So if you remember, we more than doubled this flower bed. We put in all the pavers for the different sidewalks and pathways. We put in the edging along the driveway. We also in that project went ahead and redid all of the drainage in our driveway. I am happy to report that all of the drainage is working fantastic. Now, we have not had an abundance of opportunity to test out the drainage because, of course, as soon as you put the drainage in to move the water and the rains stop. We have gotten some rain, not those massive rains, but the rain that we have gotten has worked beautifully as far as draining off. So we are good to go on that. But yeah, all the plants here along this side bed, this is going to be that shade bed, of course. We have got beautiful mixtures of perennials and not annuals, and shrubs in here. Some trees, all sorts of fun things. If you remember this pulmonaria when we planted it, oh, she was mad and she just completely wilted and was terrible looking. You can see she's bounced back quite beautifully. Paisley pup, oh my gosh, this plant never missed a beat. Look at all this new growth. The new growth is pink. It is happy, it is abundant, it is growing and doing quite nicely. Also, when we we moved some stuff around, of course, in here, Mimi and I did, and the Brunnera was also quite mad when we moved it and had just looked terrible. But look, this is all new growth, y'all. The only old growth we have are these ones that easily could be snipped off. But all of this is beautiful new growth. The ferns, I cut them all the way back. They have started to sprout. Even y'all mid-November here, and doing great. We have not had a hard freeze as of yet, but everybody is loving life. You can see this fern was also cut all the way back. That is that Franz Forever. And look at all of that beautiful new growth. You can see that the hostas are starting to take on some of their fall colors. Yeah, so everything here is just doing absolutely fantastic. The hellebores, remember Mimi and I divided those one hellebore into, I think, 7 different ones. Went ahead and I had cut back all the old foliage so you can see all this beautiful new foliage doing well. And the container, it too is just loving life and doing fantastic. I think the euchre has definitely grown since we've put it in. The cast iron plants are doing well, as is the carex and the fern. As you can tell, it's a little bit of a breezy day here in North Carolina. Oh, this is fun. The elegant pansies. Remember, these were the fun new pansies that we are testing out this year. And oh my goodness, they're doing well. Y'all, I literally have done nothing to them since we planted them, right? So these are the double pansies. They're brand new, sent it out to, I think, a bunch of different growers and so that we could test them and see how they're doing. They're doing great. The butterfly candy budlias, they're doing awesome as well. Just everything is just coming up and doing quite nicely. The anemones, you saw me plant some anemone corms. Look at that. They're already sprouting up. Now, if you plant anemones, do not fret if they come up. They're fine. because they can handle it and they know exactly what to do. So even if we have crazy cold temperatures and all the things, they are not going to flower until the spring. So all is good on that. The Firelight Tidbits, they are starting to take on some lovely pink hues to them. So that's really fun. And then the violas. Oh my goodness. The violas are loving life. Remember, we went through and planted violas between all of the azaleas going down the front, and they are just gorgeous. Absolutely stunning. Doing really, really nicely. Have them, of course, here in a mass planting as well, and just doing great. So everything here on the front renovation is doing really nicely. Even with the rain that we have had, it has drained off of the pathway to the pathway, sidewalk, whatever you want to call it, tomato. All the water has drained off and has done really well. And then because I do keep things real here with you at Creekside, because I think that does everybody a disservice when we don't keep things real, right? So we redid, because when we had to do the driveway, right, and we had to come through and tear through because of the drainage, and we had to tear through the daylily bed right here. So we were like, well, while we're here, let's just go ahead and make this bed much bigger and just enjoy it and have a whole diverse selection of shrubs and perennials in here. The plants are doing great. I mean, they are loving life. They are doing fantastic. How I'm keeping it real with you, though, is the bed's so fantastic. Look what has joined us. Yes, that's right. We have got a lovely selection of all sorts of great weeds that are coming up in this flower bed, y'all. I am telling you what, the struggle is real here in the South. Part of me, a very small part of me, envies you folks who live in those cold zones where you get complete like snow cover for the winter. Because you know what? You don't have to deal with weeds. Now you got a whole bunch of other stuff you got to deal with, but you don't have to deal with weeds. And I think sometimes in the South, winter weeds are worse than summer weeds. They just like multiply overnight. It is insane. So guess what Brenna and I are going to be doing later on today? That's right, my friends. We're going to be weeding. But just to show you how well everything is doing, we have got, remember the berry box? Look at that. Look at all those beautiful, beautiful red berries on it. The butterfly bushes are doing great. I mean, they're just doing wonderful. The grasses, we got the chameleon grasses are doing well. And then, of course, the azaleas, they are loving life as well. So the main thing in here, weed control. Weeds, weeds, weeds. And I think probably part of that is because maybe some of the soil that we brought in, bulk soil that we had, maybe that was a part of an issue. And then just the wind blows it in. So got to weed the beds. Another fun project that I did just, oh gosh, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, was I planted my fall vegetable garden. So we have 5 of the tall modern garden boxes from Vago, and went ahead and planted up some fall veggies. This is only the second winter that we have had them. Last year we filled them up with spring flowering bulbs. This year I was like, let's do some veggies. So look at that. Everything was direct seed sowed, minus I did grab some Swiss chard from the garden center that we had. We were selling it as a decorative piece for containers, but of course, obviously Swiss chard you can eat. So I thought, well, that will be fun. And so all of our beets are coming up, our romaine lettuce is coming up, and my lettuce and my kale, I won't use it as a head. What I will do is I come through and like cut the individual leaves. And so that way, like this, if you wanted the little microgreens, you could go ahead and like take these off, because then down there in the middle, you have got the new growth. So that way, if you don't cut the whole head, you'll get a lot of fresh leaves off of it. So they are all doing well. I was tasting them yesterday and they are delicious. Got a little spice to them, quite lovely. The violas up here, remember I planted some extra violas. They are doing just fine as well. And then, oh my gosh, y'all. Now I know that I need to come through and I need to, oh my gosh, I need to thin out my radishes, but oh my goodness. Okay, so they are very prolific, but I just saw, oh my goodness. Okay, look at this. Ta-da! So it is time to harvest some radishes, my friends. I love it. Look at that. So this one is the Sora, and then we have these, I don't even know how to, Cayenne Bravo. They were the daikon radishes, and then the carrots. So then the carrots are coming up as well. And, oh, I forgot, garlic. Yes, so this bed is planted in garlic. This is the stiff neck garlic, and look, y'all, it's already starting to sprout. Now, if you are in the South like I am and your garlic sprouts this time and you're going into the winter, don't worry about it. It will be perfectly fine. It doesn't matter if this gets burnt because all the action is happening down here. So I have a couple of little sprouts of the garlic. So that is super exciting to see that. All right, let's move on to the next project area. The temperatures finally started to actually act like it was going to be fall around here. I planted up 2 different containers for the fall into winter, spring with some really fun fall annuals. And so I'm gonna give you an update on those. They have done so well. Do you see why I love Ms. America mustard? Y'all, look at that. Is that not stunning? Of course, full sun, so Ms. America has that full sun, and you can see the sun's behind me. I'm trying to get a good view. Here we go. So full sun, we have got trailing pansies in here. We have got regular pansies. We have got some of the snapdragons. So this is just doing fantastic and absolutely gorgeous. I've got bumblebees and honeybees on all over it. The bed behind, yes, has not received its winter cleanup. Don't worry, it will happen eventually. Also, our patio, Jerry is currently working on that because y'all, honestly, it had gotten quite gross and dirty and we had some algae growing on it. So he has spent the last couple of days cleaning it, pressure washing it, doing all the things. Yesterday we came through and put more locking sand down because over time some of that had come out. So we redid that. And so the next step is we have to let it dry completely, like completely, because you can see kind of those little dark spots. That's where there's still some moisture in there. So let it dry absolutely completely, and then we're going to come back through and put the sealer down, a couple of layers of the sealer on it, so that way, yeah, it'll maintain it and be beautiful. Now, the other container, I figured I'd give you an update on that project that you didn't know about that we're in the middle of. So here we go. The other planter that we did, if the wind wasn't blowing, you would see how that Ms. America mustard is doing. But so we have the kale in here. This is that feather kale. It's going to be that reddish as the temperatures come down. This will brighten up with all the colors. We have got the beautiful violas right here doing really well. More trailing pansies. I love this color. I think it's absolutely stunning. There are some snapdragons, look how cute they are. And then, like I said, the Ms. America, she is in there as well. So that is doing quite lovely. And then the butterfly candy back here. Y'all, I am telling you what, I have been so stinking impressed with these butterfly candies. So look at those 3. Let me find my thumb. Those 3 have done so well, doing just great. This is the little coconut, of course. Planted them really close to each other. That way it'll look like we have one huge mass planting of them, but just absolutely knocking it out of the ballpark and doing really, really well. Now, another one this is a project we did way back in, I think it was early summer that we did. And y'all, again, I'm gonna keep it real for you. So our friends at Southern Living Plant Collection sent us a lovely selection of some hydrangeas. And so we brought them down here and planted them along the creek bank. And oh my, they're doing great. Now I will say, may she rest in peace, I did kill one. So sorry, my friends at Southern Living, I did kill a hydrangea because, and I'll explain why in just a second. We all kill plants, y'all. It's okay. It's okay. It's a plant. I tell people it's a plant. It's not a person. It's not your pet. It's not your child. So if you accidentally kill it, it's okay. We can get you another one. So Big Daddy. So look at Big Daddy. So Big Daddy has lots of new growth on it. This will be, as its name suggests, a very nice big size macrophylla. So very excited to see how well these are doing. And y'all, I do practice tough love with my plants. This is not on irrigation. I literally did plant them and I haven't touched them. So I did not touch them afterwards. And then we have Sims Beauty. And so Sims Beauty, as you can see, is going to be a great oak leaf hydrangea. Y'all, when I say this thing has probably tripled in size, I am not exaggerating. Now, Sims Beauty is going to be big. It is going to be a massive one, which is going to be lovely because that's exactly what I want right here. So to see all of this rapid growth in one growing season, I am so excited about that. And so it will, of course, the oak leaves will take on gorgeous burgundy colors, will be fantastic. So the hydrangea that I killed was the second Sims Beauty. So I did have two, and they were on each side of this mock orange. So what happened is that it was planted right here. Well, when we planted it, everything was fine. And then I noticed that it was struggling. And as a bad gardener, just keeping it honest, y'all, I didn't check on it when I should have. And by the time I checked on it, when we dug it up, it was sitting in water. It was the grossest thing. Like the soil was stinky and nasty. It had a little bit of green growth on it. So we dug it up. Mimi was with me. We dug it up. We moved it to a drier spot. But unfortunately, may she rest in peace, it was too late. So I lost one of my Sims Beauty. But I have a gorgeous one right here. So that is all that we care about. And so we'll just go with it. So, and then we have Dear Dolores. So Dear Dolores has already started to go into her dormant mode. So we have got 3 of them, 1, 2, and 3, doing well. They're just hanging out and being great. And so there you go. So all of these are loving the fall temperatures, as is the pup. She loves a good roll in the grass. And so speaking of the grass, that is the next project update. So you were with us when we aerated, reseeded, fertilized, did all the things to the lawn. And I am happy to report that it is growing. It is beautiful. It is thick. It is tall. I don't know if you can see, like with Brenna, how kind of like tall it is. It desperately needs to be cut. So it is just thriving. Everything just took off like a bang. And the turf tone, I was going to say lawn tone. I was like, that is not right. The turf tone from Espoma has done really, really well. And so the grass is clearly loving these cooler temperatures. And as you know, we had some irrigation woes. Happy to report, Jerry has fixed all of that. He had to rewire everything, but they are doing really, really well. And so, yeah, so all of that is going just lovely. And just so far, all of the projects I am happy to report, have done well. Also, side note, we're not going to go up there, but you were with us when Jerry and I, it was a rainy day and we were in the production greenhouse, and we were telling you kind of our woes with our potting machine because the screen had gone out, which was the control screen. And without the control screen, you can't operate the machinery. So, happy to report we got the new screen. The programming that was installed on it worked. So the potting machine, she's back up and running. So that is a great progress report that they came, they sent it to us. Jerry just went in, plugged it up. got everything plugged in, turned it on, and it worked like a champ. So praise the Lord for that. All right, kind of the final project update, because we have not talked about this for a very, very long time. And it is getting ready to probably have our first freeze here within the next week. So I'm going to show it to you. Now, y'all, before I show it to you, remember, this is mid-November. I haven't touched it. I've done nothing to it, but there's some messes, and there's some, not success. They're all, well, it looks a mess, but it was all a success. It's a mess because it's November and I haven't touched it. But y'all, look at this garden. This is the back garden on the, of course, behind the garden shed. Oh my heavens. So the two things that really stand out to me, of course, are the Vermillionaire that are just still absolutely knocking it out of the ballpark. We have got honeybees and bumblebees, all sorts of little pollinators that are buzzing around in here. So Vermillionaire is loving life and doing great. And then, of course, the sweet potato vine. Y'all, this is the upside key lime, which is that climbing sweet potato vine. And yeah, you think it climbs? I do. So there are 4 plants in here, and it is just crazy. Four the grande containers that I planted down here at the bottom, and they are just nuts. Now, do you see this little teepee? Can you see that there's a teepee right here? That's my Rose of Sharon, and it's kind of taken over, not kind of, it totally took over my Rose of Sharon, which hopefully she's still good. She's fine. She's just covered up a little bit. So what I'm going to do is, before the freeze, probably as soon as I get off I was gonna say when I get off the phone with you, but I'm not on the phone, I'm on the video. Once we get off of here, I'm gonna go ahead and cut a bunch of that out and give it to the chickens, because the chickens love to eat that foliage. Once, of course, a freeze comes, then it just turns to mush, and so it does no good. But I mean, you've got the portulaca, of course, loves it hot. We've had, our lows have been in the low 40s. I don't think we've hit in the 30s yet. So of course it is done, right? So it is finished blooming. But the salvias, this is the unplugged So Blue. Now, it does not look great. By no means does it look wonderful, but it still has flowers, and you still are having happy pollinators. The butterfly bushes are doing magnificently well. So are the irises. These are the eyeliner irises, so they are doing great. So clearly everything in here is quite happy and prolific. So we'll need to come in here and spend a day in here and getting everything kind of cleaned up, tidied up, and put to bed for the winter. But definitely going to leave the Vermillionaire until we get a hard freeze and it just zaps it, because the pollinators are thoroughly enjoying it. It's so nice to see the little honeybees on here. We'll see if they're not too terribly shy, if they'll buzz for us. But yeah, so anyway, that is a beautiful stand of Vermillionaire. So if you have never put Vermillionaire in the ground, you definitely need to do it. And it's one of those annuals that will last for a very long time. So anyway, that is kind of the project updates on things that have been happening here at Creekside, whether in the last couple of weeks or the months, or really early in the season when we planted it. As always, we would love it if you would subscribe. That way you don't miss those 5 videos that we do each and every week. Y'all have an amazing day. We will see you in the next video. Bye, friends.